Today we are working on Excel Expert Lesson 6, the 8th lesson, recording macros. So first let's select cell B5, Then on the View tab, click the View tab. Then in the Macros group, click Macros arrow, and then click Record Macro. In the macro name text box, type title, T-I-T-L-E, and press Tab, and that will move you to the shortcut key, short text box. Press and hold the Shift key and type A. Then release the Shift key. Notice that the shortcut key changes from Control plus to Control plus Shift plus. In the Store Macro and drop down lists, click this workbook if necessary, and then click OK. Hint, if you enter a lowercase alphabetic character, that is A to Z, you only need to use the Control key to activate the macro. If you enter an uppercase letter A to Z, you have to use both the Control and Shift keys to activate the macro. The shortcut key indicator will change if you enter an uppercase letter. At the left end of the Excel status bar, the macro indicator is displayed. By pointing at it, you will see the current macro state. So it's showing you right down here. You highlight, move the mouse over, it says the macro is currently recording. Click to stop recording. So starting from this point on, any actions that you perform on the workbook will be recorded in the macro. So on the Home tab, click on the Home tab. In the Font group, click Bold. So we're going to click Bold. Then in the Alignment group, we're going to click Center. So right here, we're going to click Center. On the View tab, in the Macros group, click the Macros arrow, and then click Stop Recording. Mark that as answered. So we've created a macro. Select cell D5. Then press Control plus Shift plus A. Control, Shift, A. And look at there. It made it in bold and it centered it because we just ran the macro. Repeat the steps for cells A6. So A6, Control, Shift, A. A13, Control, Shift, A. And A18, Control Shift A. Macros really are pretty cool. I'll probably never ever use one, but they are pretty cool. Mark that as answer. Go to the next one. Click the calendar looking thing on the Excel status bar. So that's this right down here where I clicked. And that opens the Record Macro dialog box again. In the name text box, we're going to type numbers. Press Tab to access the shortcut key. Hold Shift and type the letter N. And then click OK. Select cells B7 to B11. B7 to 11. Then on the Home tab in the Number group, click on the Home tab and the Number group. We're going to click the dialog box launcher. In the Format Cells dialog box, select the number category right here. Reduce the decimal places to 0. Then select the Use 1000 separator. Check this box. To turn that on, then click OK. And then click down here. And that stops the macro recording. You could probably go to View and then Macros and see right here that it has stopped because right there it's wanting you to record macros. So we know we did that correct, so mark that as answered. Go to the next one. Click Undo. Undo. Select D7 to D11. Then press Control, Shift, and End or N. Notice that the formatting was performed again for the range B7 to B11. This macro will only work on those cells because they were selected while the macro was being recorded. As a result, the macro will not apply formatting to other cells in the workbook. You can fix this problem easily by using one of two methods. Select all cells before recording a macro. This is usually the easier method. Or use the relative reference option button while recording the macro. So select cells B7 to B11 if necessary. Then on the Home tab in the Editing group, so click on the Home tab. In the Editing group, we're going to click Clear and then Clear Formats. On the View tab, in the Macros group, click the Macros arrow and then click View Macros. Select the Numbers macro and then click Delete. Excel displays a message box with a warning. Do you want to delete macro numbers? Click Yes. Go to the next one. With those cells still selected, click this on the status bar. To record the macro dialog box, type numbers and then click OK. On the Home tab in the Number group, click the Number Format dialog box. In the Format Cells dialog box, select the number category. Reduce the decimal places to 0. Use the 1000 comma separator. Turn it on, then click OK. And then stop recording. Mark that as answered. Go to the next one. On the View tab in the Macros group, click the Macros arrow. View tab. Macros group. View Macros with the Numbers macro selected. Click Options. In the Macros Options dialog box, type lowercase in the shortcut key and then click OK. And then click Cancel to close the macro dialog box. Select D7 to D11. Press Control N. You do not need the Shift key because you did not use it when you defined your shortcut key for this macro. So mark that as answer. Go to the next one. Click File, Save As, navigate to your My Projects location. Click Save. Excel displays a warning message stating that your workbook contains a VB project and therefore can't be saved as a macro-free workbook. Change the workbook type to a macro-enabled workbook. So we're going to click No. And the Save As page, we're going to click right here. Change it to Excel Macro-Enabled Workbook, this one right here. And then click Save. Create a new blank workbook and close the balance sheet macro workbook. So click File, New, Blank Workbook. We're going to go back to this one and click File and Close. Now we've got this blank one. Open the balance sheet macro workbook again. File, Open, Balance Sheet Macro, and Open. A security warning is displayed to inform you that this workbook contains a macro. Since you know you created this workbook, you can assume it's still safe to use. Click Enable Content. Select cells B14 to B16. B14 to B16. Press Control and N. can see that it put commas in there. Save the workbook. If you open this workbook again on this computer, Excel will no longer display the security warning message. By clicking the Enable Content button, you have tagged the workbook as safe. Other users will still see the security warning message if they open this workbook for the first time. So, there we go. Mark that as answered. Submit. Submit results. There we go. Hopefully you have 8 green check marks like I do, and this completes recording macros.